And we're here to talk about the $1 billion which has been put in the recent budget to support the National Disability Insurance Scheme. This is a very, very big social reform for Australia. Our recent budget shows that you can balance the books as well as making room for important social reforms. An economy which is strong is one which is also fair and which promotes social inclusion. And in Australia, for far too long, Australians with disabilities have been left behind, they've been undervalued and underappreciated. And we do need a major reform in Australia called the National Disability Insurance Scheme to provide Australians with a disability with the dignity and support that we expect for all Australians. So this is a really significant reform. A really significant reform that's been a long time coming, and the government approaches this reform from a constructive point of view. We look forward to working with state governments, and we look forward to working with all of those involved in the disability sector to make sure that over the years ahead, Australians with disability have the respect and support that they so justly deserve. Now, just one sec, I think Jenny, and then we'll throw to Bruce, and then we'll take the questions.
Thanks very much to the Treasurer, and if I could say just how exciting it is to be here with so many people with disability, so many carers, family members, people from Uralla. I'd like to say a very special thank you to Bruce Bonyhady, the Chair of Uralla, for making sure that this campaign for a National Disability Insurance Scheme has ended up in the Commonwealth Treasury announcing $1 billion for a National Disability Insurance Scheme. This is the first stage, and we're so excited to be able to start this major reform. I want to thank the Treasurer very, very much for his determination to see that this major social reform actually happens here in our country. For the people behind us, the people with disability, their carers and their families, they've waited long enough. People with disability have waited long enough. They think that having a disability is just one big long wait. It's waiting at the end of a phone for a respite place, waiting for a wheelchair. Well, this government is ending that wait. We will commit $1 billion to the first stage of a National Disability Insurance Scheme. It's a very, very exciting reform for Australia, and I'll just ask Bruce Bonyhady to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Jenny. And look, there's no doubt that we stand here today at an historic moment where disability has moved from the margins of public policy in Australia to the mainstream with this commitment of $1 billion in the recent budget. I think if you had asked a year ago or 2 years ago, would we see this sort of commitment in this sort of tight fiscal environment, people would have said you're dreaming. But what we have seen is, for the first time in Australia's history, people with disabilities being put front and centre in a Commonwealth budget, and with the Commonwealth showing that it's prepared to do the heavy lifting in terms of shifting from a system that the Productivity Commission has described as underfunded, inefficient, unfair and fragmented, to one that we in Australia can be really proud of. A system that I hope, and I think every person with a disability hopes, will take its place alongside Medicare as one of the great social and economic policies that underpin not just a fair Australia, but one which enables people with disabilities and their families to participate in the economy and in the mainstream of Australian life. Thank you very much.